All right, well, welcome back. I'm just going to address this now. Yes, I know I'm a dumb bitch. I wasn't able to get the last episode uploaded, and by the time I was going to be able to get it uploaded, it was Sunday morning, so I figured, hey, well, fuck, I missed my opportunity. Here we are.
We're back with the Sports Jargon podcast. Again, what is this? I don't know what week this is, but we're getting up there now.
There's some weeks.
And we always go over the time, so let's get into it. Let's get it. We'll start with our favorite topic, football. I think that's our favorite.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving games. They're all pretty good. Well, they were all pretty good.
I thought they were pretty good games.
Bills win 28-25, Detroit. Ross St. Brown, absolute beast. What do you have? 122 yards, 7 first downs, touchdown. He's the man.
Yeah, no, he's...
Bills escaped. That game was a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah. But the Bills have now won back-to-back games in Ford Field since 2016. But that's a pretty good stat, I think.
That's good. I don't really know what else. I mean, I said this on Thanksgiving, but it's going to be a lot for me if Jamal Williams breaks Barry Sanders' touchdown record.
Oh, yeah.
He is not that far off. Bills win, though. Good game. It was a fun game.
Yeah, no. Josh Allen kind of started to look like himself again. The injury didn't look like it bothered him quite so bad.
Nope. Diggs had a big game.
Mm-hmm.
The usual suspects. All the AFC East, I think, is in the playoffs right now. So that's
the NFC East is in the playoffs right now too.
Oh yeah, it's a good year for the East.
Yep.
Good year for the East. I guess here we could other Thanksgiving game. Great game. Giants Cowboys.
Very good game.
Kind of went how I expected it to go. I still don't like Daniel Jones. Watching him play,
he doesn't have that wow factor.
I just don't. I think when it comes down to it, and it's just again when you need him to make the throws, can't make the throws.
He was making the throws though in the beginning of the year. When it came down to it, he was making the throws. Now it seems like he's not getting that explosive play.
I think it's easier when Saquon Barkley's playing so well.
Yeah,
and Dallas defense giving him problems. He went 11 carries, 39 yards. Yeah. Nothing special. No. And then all of a sudden, Daniel Jones looks like a very average quarterback.
And he's throwing to a bunch of 6th, 7th undrafted receivers. Seems like
maybe one of the teams that compete with your Packers for a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Cowboys win. That game was 28-20.
It was close.
It was close, but I think this game. I'm not saying it's a playoff game, but had it been a playoff game, I think this is exactly how it would have went.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have expected anything different.
Still, the Giants have reason to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Then we had New England versus Minnesota.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. Was that a touchdown? Was that a touchdown? I watched it. I thought it was a touchdown.
I thought so too.
But also, I will also say that New England's defense is really good.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins, Primetime.
Actually kind of proved himself.
Played pretty well.
Yeah.
33 points against that defense. I still don't love the Vikings.
Because
we keep getting into the season. I keep saying it.
That game shouldn't have been that close.
The game shouldn't have been that close. I don't know. I think just the way the league has gone this year, and I think I've said it and I keep saying it, is I just don't think there's a lot of top tier teams. No. So a team like the Vikings that have so the Vikings are 9-2. Their point differential is 5.
Yeah, that's not good.
I know in part it was their blowout loss.
Still though,
it's I just.
All right, so what was that? That was 40 points or whatever it was that game.
Yeah.
Say they lose by 14. What's their point differential then? It's
right.
Still 35.
Still not great. The Cowboys and Eagles are now plus 92, plus 87.
Yeah, no, and the Vikings wouldn't even be close to that if that game was
49ers
competitive.
Plus 76. Chiefs plus 83, Buffalo plus 110.
Yeah, no, the Vikings are a playoff team, but I don't think they're much more than that.
I just think besides receiver, I think they're just above average in a lot of their categories, which is why they keep winning. But I think
Dalvin Cook's a little bit better than above average.
Dalvin Cook's good. Dalvin Cook is good. You know how I feel about running backs; they don't matter. But regardless, I just you watch that and you're like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't love it. I don't think the Patriots are that good. I mean,
No.
Mac Jones is playing pretty well. I kind of shit on him earlier in the year, but he's playing pretty well now.
Thank you. My boy Mac and cheese.
Yeah. I was all aboard the Bailey train, and then the train came off the rails.
And then it ran into the woods or something. Like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pretty much. Washington, Atlanta Falcons. That game was super close. Washington ends up winning, and all of a sudden they're a playoff team. We wrote them off early.
Yeah, we both did.
But you know what though? I don't think either one of us liked Carson Wentz. What a different team they look like with Heineken.
I didn't understand.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what a different team they look like.
I didn't understand why they were trying to get rid of him to begin with. The kid makes plays. I don't care. He makes plays. He needs to be polished, but makes plays.
And on the other end, Brian Robinson. Fully, one of our friends lost $1 million.
Yeah.
Brian
hasn't paid up.
Hasn't paid up yet. Huge game.
Yeah.
Makes Antonio Gibson look average.
Yeah. And Antonio Gibson's a decent running back, I think.
Oh, absolutely. That and I think Heineken can get Scary Terry the ball.
Yeah, which
Commander
makes
Carson
him
couldn't.
no.
So that automatically changes their whole team. Now we're in the situation where Washington's a playoff team. Before, I was like, oh, man, I don't know. Chase Young coming back.
Yeah, that defense is starting to come alive.
To come up. Also, too, the Falcons are bad.
The Falcons
I still don't think they're
terrible.
very good.
No. Falcons are terrible.
They're only... And I think it's actually hurting them because the NFC South is so bad that they have a chance. You look and you're like, man, they're only a game out of the playoffs. I mean...
Why did they stop giving Cordell Patterson the ball? He was injured. He comes back, has a great game.
So
then since they're just like, yeah.
He had 11 carries for 52 yards.
What?
He had 3 catches for 19 yards. But it's also tough too because
get that guy the ball.
Like Caleb Huntley had a 1 carry for 12 yards. Tyler Algier had 11 carries for 54 yards. So he had a slightly better game than Patterson, but. I don't know.
Obviously know Patterson is the more explosive back out of the backfield. He broke the all-time record for kick return touchdowns. Like, the guy's explosive.
I just think get
him the ball.
I just think the Mariota is not very good. I mean,
terrible.
I think he was a above-average backup quarterback.
Yes.
I don't know. You were not going to win a playoff game. You're not going to make a playoff run with Marcus. I'm sorry.
I want to see Desmond Ridder. I want to see Ridder.
I think it's at what point do you have to go to him to see what it is, because it's now we're at, so the Falcons are 1 game out of the loss column, so they're 5-7, Tampa Bay's 5-6, but it's, oh man, like, I
want to see Ridder.
Like, is it worth it? Let's say you go through the whole year and you make the playoffs as the Falcons. Let's just say Tampa Bay, the wheels come off the bus, they lose, Falcons sneak in. Is it worth making the playoffs with Mariota? He's not the future.
Why?
You know he's not going to be the quarterback next year. Like, do you kind of? I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I just guess it's like, yeah, they're a young team, but I don't know what value you're going to get out of. Hey, we're not very good and we won a terrible division. Mariota's our quarterback. You're going to go in the offseason. You're going to have to. You need a quarterback. Like, there's no way you can go into the next season and be like, yeah, we're okay with our quarterback. You just can't.
Yeah.
So
at least get the kid some experience. And
I don't know. Maybe
see what's going on.
But and also too, like, Mariota's like, I don't think he's very good. Like,
no, he's not.
We watched a couple weeks ago. Carolina was horrible. Played absolutely horrible.
That might have been the worst quarterbacking I've ever seen against that Carolina.
Yeah, and Carolina. It's like, I don't know. Maybe we could add this when we add the poll on Spotify. We could see, is it time for the Ridder? Is it time to get rid of him? I don't know.
Give me the Ridder experience.
I think we got to go with Ridder. I think I'm all aboard. Let's move in quickly. A game that I watched, all of it, like Skip Bayless. I watched the whole game.
Scoop, our buddy, our friend of the show.
Yeah. And Carolina blows out Denver. Bad. Really, the only thing worth saying out of this, I mean, I guess Sam Darnold didn't throw the game in the trash. Like, he played okay. They ran the ball all over Denver's defense, which I thought was wild. I did not.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
They just were like, nope, we don't care. We're taking it 4 yards at a time. We don't care whatever happens. But I think obviously the only thing that is going to be worth mentioning out of this game is
that argument on the sideline.
Finally, right? Finally. Now, I've been talking about this for the last 6-7 weeks where I'm like, I don't know what happened this year in sports. I remember way back when. I know there's some a guy in the audience that'll remember. I remember Terrell Owens crying at a press conference. That's my quarterback. Now we have Denver's defense going after Russ Wilson. Let Russ cook.
Can we stop? Can he stop cooking?
He's
killing people out there.
Instead of cooking, is he not riding anymore? Does he not? Did we not? Was the Broncos country? Let's ride. I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to cook while he's riding. Maybe that's the issue. Is he cooking on the back of the horse?
Maybe. Yeah. Like I said, I think he's got the stove unplugged and he's trying to cook right now.
While he's on the back of a Bronco.
But I think the troubling part about this is he's bad.
He's terrible.
Carolina's defense played well. They have a pretty good defense. I will not say they don't have a pretty good defense. He's missing guys. He's holding on the ball, taking sacks. And it's I don't know what he's looking at. I have no idea.
He makes no attempt to try to get out of the pocket at all either, which is what made him very, very good in Seattle.
He was almost impossible to sack.
Now he's a statue. He's not even trying to go anywhere.
And I don't know, but it's so Russell Wilson, 19 out of 35, 142 yards, 4.1 yards per attempt, sacked 3 times. Is there a team? So I know we've been talking about it all year with teams looking forward to next year. Is there a team? And we've been making fun of the Raiders that they have. They're one of the worst situations in the league.
The Broncos are the worst.
The Broncos are the worst situation in the league. Man, there's a lot of money in Russ Wilson. None of his teammates back him up. Now his teammates are going after him.
I'm starting to feel more and more bad for Hackett because obviously he's not doing very well. He's not doing a very good job. But that situation over there is horrendous. And he's a rookie coach, and he's dealing with everybody bashing the shit out of his quarterback. Nobody's saying a goddamn word about it.
Right, and the Broncos running game played pretty well.
Yeah.
They Cortland,
Jerry Jeudy,
and Greg Dulcich, their tight end, is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. And watching this game, and I even felt back as Patrick Surtain II, absolutely phenomenal.
Locked down.
Kind of got torched a little bit by DJ Moore, which DJ Moore's real good. But still, it's is that team turning on each other? Do you get rid of Hackett at the end of the year?
You have to. I don't know how he's not gone yet.
What do you do with Russ Wilson? Well, this you kind of just have to let it crash.
You think so?
You let it crash till the end of the year. You need a new coach because you can't get to Russ Wilson at this point, and Hackett is going to be an easy scheme.
Well, it's going to be Russ's team. Russ is getting paid so much fucking money. It's going to be his team again because there's no way you're getting rid of him. Right. Nobody's going to take him.
No, nobody wants him.
No.
What a fleecing Seattle.
Yeah. Pete Carroll's looking like the Simpsons at this point. He had the crystal ball. He predicted the whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolute robbery.
Right. And now the Seahawks still talking shit about Russell Wilson.
So good.
And again, nobody's coming to his defense. Wild.
It's incredible.
Where's Owens?
So
that's my quarter. Where's Jeudy? Where's Sutton? Everyone's just kind of I don't know, looking around, pointing the Spider-Man. They're pointing the fingers. Hey, somebody.
When do Jeudy and Sutton and all them? When do they start liking these tweets on Twitter?
Right, you're starting to get into some dangerous territories. But yeah, sorry, Broncos fans. Do you have any fans left? Are you still riding? What are you doing?
Nobody's riding. Everybody fell off.
Yeah, so not great.
No.
Not great. We'll move on. One of the biggest upsets of the week, and this is going to lead into some fun things. So, Tampa Bay loses to Kobe Brissett.
Yeah, kind of wild.
So Buccaneers.
That guy Nick Chubb.
In some trouble.
That guy Nick Chubb
is a dude.
That guy Nick Chubb. I don't know. He's unbelievable.
Buccaneers, how do you lose that game?
Yeah.
I switched over. I watched most of the second half of that game. One, they had nothing for Amari Cooper.
No.
Which I was shocked because nothing for Amari Cooper. Again,
Amari's he's good, but
he's
not that good.
You know what they're going to do. They are only receive. Peoples-Jones is fine.
I like Peoples-Jones.
He's a fine compliment. So it's kind of got to double team Cooper. If Peoples-Jones tears you up.
If Peoples-Jones and Njoku are going to tear you up.
You can't let Nick Chubb tear you up.
Which
they win in overtime.
Yeah. Nick Chubb, you know what it's like. Nick Chubb's gonna touch the ball 30 times a game, and it's
absolutely.
coming.
Absolutely,
it's not a surprise.
And
that backfield's touching the ball 45 times.
And now all of a sudden, I think we finally hit the point for the Cleveland Browns. Is next week the week, or the 4th coming up here? The return of Deshaun Watson.
Whenever they go to Houston, whatever week that is.
Brissett's not thrilled about this, but December 4th is the game, so we will have the return of Deshaun Watson. Some of his lawsuit.
I love that. That is so good.
Coming to the game.
So good. That incredible. Is one of the more incredible things I've ever heard of. So good.
You know, wild. And I don't really know. I mean, Buccaneers, they're going to squeak into the playoffs, I think. We've been saying this all year. They're not going to do anything. Like
Godwin's getting healthy, coming back.
Godwin, yeah, that did help.
And we didn't start him. It's fine.
Yeah, that was... Well, we picked him up in the waiver wire. They got rid of him. It's fine. It's fine.
Not good.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's just a wild, fun story.
That's. I'm gonna be kind of curious to see what Tampa does the rest of the year. I think because they're almost one of those teams where it's like they have the talent to make some noise. Are they gonna put it together, or are they just gonna flop?
We're gonna have to figure it out. We'll move on. Let's move on to our favorite scrambled egg dish of all time, Tua. Since his brain injury, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, kind of wild. We don't even know if he can read defenses anymore. He might just be out there throwing the ball.
He is Pro Football Focus's #1 quarterback on the whole year. He is #1. I watched the first half of this game.
That's kind of a lot for me.
I watched most of the first half of this game, and it's just like, these guys are open. These guys are wide open.
Well, yeah, you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
And I mean,
of course they're going to be open.
He's finding him. Like, I mean, I know I've been saying this the whole year. Don't know how you feel about it. And I'm always kind of like, let's see what happens in the playoffs. Like, they obviously got enough talent. They're going to make the playoffs. And I keep saying that I'm not trusting Tua in the playoffs, but
that defense isn't good.
So, I was, and I feel like I have to be a Dolphins fan now. So last year, I told all the boys, all the people who would listen to me, I bet big on Cincinnati to make the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't care. Joe Burrow was a top 2, top 3 quarterback last year. I pulled up my little DraftKings app. We bet on the Bengals. Do I have to do it this year with the Dolphins? Look, it sounds crazy because it's like, you kind of look at them and you're like, but are they not Cincinnati of last year? I mean, you had Jamar Chase. You had T. Higgins.
They don't have any sort of threat out of the backfield, though. Like the Bengals.
No, I mean, like, they have Jeff Wilson, but I also, if you look at Joe Mixon's numbers from last year, they weren't that good. He had touchdowns, but I don't know.
No, but
and they did beat up on a Houston Texans team, but I don't know. I'm almost to the point now where if I was supporting the Bengals, like, I have to support the Dolphins,
but
right?
Look how many points the Texans scored against them.
15.
Yeah, with
Kyle Allen.
Yeah, what?
Kyle Allen, yep.
What?
Yep.
That's what worries me. That defense isn't good. It's not good.
I don't know.
They got a lot of big names that just don't seem to perform.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money. They a lot of draft capital spent to bolster that defense.
Well, I mean, yeah. Their defensive line is Wilkins, Chubb, Ingram, Jalen Phillips. I mean, that's on paper stacked.
Yeah. And they just don't perform.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I am kind of now, I feel like I have to bet on the Dolphins. I feel like that's where I am at this point. Give it time till the end of the year because Joe Burrow was #2 over the course of the year. So if we get Joe
makes the, I don't know,
right?
Joe makes the play. Joe makes the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tua,
I don't know. I guess going by my formula that I did last year, I bet on Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense based off of what you're saying.
Right.
But Tua's not Joe Burrow. He's not.
Isn't he this year, though?
No. He doesn't make that big play.
It's tough because Joe Burrow's playing very well this year.
Yeah, but Tua doesn't make that play like Joe did.
Does he have to?
At some point, you have to.
I mean, I feel like future-wise, obviously Chase, but Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Waddle, T. Higgins. I don't know. I'm just saying. I am starting to become a believer Because it's like week after week, Tua had 278 yards at halftime. At what point do we stop shitting on him, if you will? At what point do we believe in Tua? Are we ever going to? Does he have to win?
Too.
Keep talking about the Dolphins for a second. I'm just going to pull up their schedule here.
Well, I don't know. The AFC East has been awfully weird. Obviously, Allen hasn't been healthy for most of the year.
So to close the season, at the 49ers, at the Chargers.
Good luck. That should be a good game.
At the Bills.
Okay.
Home against your boys, the Green Bay Packers. At the New England Patriots. And then they close the season home against the Jets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now that's 6 opponents. 5. Sorry, Green Bay.
5.
5 that are potential playoff teams.
In New England's going to be interesting.
If they go 4-2, do we believe in them? If they're 12-5, they're 13-4. Like where do you at the end of the season where you believe in Tua? Where you're like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. Because
if they make it to the Super Bowl, I don't think he's that good.
It's tough because they did lose to the Bengals, but have they lost when Tua's the starter? Started and finished the game. They haven't, right?
No, I don't believe they have.
Right?
It doesn't. Not that I can think of.
Right. So I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know.
I'm just throwing it out there that
he's a great inspiration for that locker room. He's great for that locker room.
If they beat the 49ers and the Chargers, they're going to be 2 rough, tough home games. If they lose,
I don't see them beating the Niners.
If they lose to the Bills at Buffalo, not a big deal. They shouldn't lose to the Packers. If they lose at New England early January 1st, that's not a huge deal to me because they're not. When they go in the playoffs, they're probably not going to play in that weather unless it's Bills at home. But
yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's not out of the question.
I'm sure
I'll tell you that it's not out of the question.
Next week, I think we'll have a much better answer. But if he goes in there and he torches the 49ers, right? Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. The man's undefeated. 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions since he's come back. Tyreek Hill is a monster.
I saw the stat. Jimmy Garoppolo also has the best starting record. He's tied with Steve Young, I believe it was, through 50 games.
Yep. Better record to any Notre Dame fans listening. Better starting record than Joe Montana. Yeah. Just throwing it out there.
But that's also what I'm going to say.
Just throwing it out there, yeah. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just wondering
I get it.
At Josh Brunette, when does the Miami Tuas get your respect? That's all I'm wondering.
It's just going to be a week. This is going to be game time decision every week, I think.
All right, let's. The audience will like this one. So the rest of the 1:00 games here. Jets versus Chicago Bears. Mike White gets activated. Goodbye, Zach Wilson. I think again this is Bears. Trevor Siemian. I don't care.
And name me 3 players on that Bears defense.
I don't care about.
Name me 3 players on that Bears defense.
It'd be right. Yeah, right. Eddie Jackson, the safety, right?
Mm-hmm. That's about what I could come up with. I think.
God, yeah. There's really not.
That defense is terrible.
There's really not a whole lot on that defense. There's really not a whole lot on that Bears team, to be honest. Like, watching that, I watched a good portion.
Terrible.
I watched a good portion of this game.
Siemian was absolutely terrible.
So we've been, I don't want to say anti-Jets because we haven't been anti-Jets. Best corner tandem in the league. Top 1 or 2 draft in the league, depending on how Seattle does. Wow. Mike White. Zach Wilson's on the bench crying at home.
Yeah, well, Zach Wilson stinks. He fucking stinks.
Zach Wilson's on sad boy hours. But all of a sudden, Mike White looked real good last year. We talked to a friend of the show, Caleb, before the season. They started Joe Flacco because they knew if Mike White started and he played well, nobody would have accepted Zach Wilson as a starter.
No.
Mike White comes in, torches the Bears. 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, 22 of 28.
It's good numbers. I will tell you, it's
Elijah
definitely good
Moore
numbers.
Happy after the end of the game. Maybe he was onto something. Like clockwork, because again, I tell you, running backs don't matter. Michael Carter goes down. Donovan Knight comes in. Absolutely.
Again, who's on that Bears defense,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Who's on that Bears defense?
I'm just throwing it out there that running backs don't matter, and I will hammer this point home.
You, me, and a hot dog are playing defensive line for the Bears.
Yeah, pretty much. But now, I think all of a sudden, for everything, because our big thing with the Jets was, yeah, they're going to win. They're going to win against bad teams. They're going to win against average teams just because they have a solid defense, a solid run game. They're a well-coached team. Mm-hmm. They're not going to win the games that matter because Zach Wilson stinks. Mm-hmm. Zach Wilson's now calling up, I think, Mike White's mom or something, trying to figure out his New Year's
sleeping
plan,
arrangements,
trying to figure out his Christmas plans. Wow,
I love that.
I mean, I know it's early to tell, but does Zach Wilson ever get another shot in New York?
No.
Like
Absolutely
he's done,
not.
right?
Absolutely
like especially
not.
this
Absolutely
year,
not.
especially this year because the Jets are onto something.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're playing well.
Zach Wilson doesn't get another shot
and Mike
in New York
White
ever again.
Looked absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I have that. What a division that has turned into be. But I don't know if you have anything else. But now all of a sudden, the Jets fans should be real excited. You got Moore running out there. You got Wilson. You got Conley. You got whatever running back, doesn't matter. Their patchwork offensive line.
But the Jets, it's never mattered what running back they've had.
No,
Mark Powell.
Wow.
Just go through the history of the Jets. They've managed to find a running back. It doesn't matter who the hell
They've always
got
churned somebody out. Back in my day, it was Curtis Martin was the man, but yeah, I don't know. Like now, all of a sudden, I don't want to play the Jets in the playoffs. If you're a passing team, you do not want to play the Jets. Now you got
that pass rush is very good too.
Well, I mean that's the thing. You got the pass rush. You've got DJ Reed. You have Sauce Boss over here. Like you don't even want to throw the ball at him. Sauce Island. Is he Revis Island? Sauce Island? Are we going with that?
Let's pump the brakes on that.
Well, right. But yeah, he is a top 2 corner right now. I mean, him and Jalen Ramsey are whatever, but. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody wants the Jets. I don't think anybody wants to play anybody in the AFC East right now.
No, not really.
I mean, New England, I guess if there's an option, you have to pick one, but...
I still wouldn't be thrilled to play them.
No, right playoff game against Belichick?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I guess we can move on, because this is a game that I thought... Again, I feel like... I don't want to say that we panic sometimes in our podcast.
You panic quite often.
I mean, but you know what? I've been a big fan of the Bengals. I've been shitting on the Tennessee Titans. They face off. Bengals win. The game went exactly how I thought it was going to go. Tannehill can't throw the ball.
No,
Joe Burrow can. Running backs.
Derrick Henry's going to get 35 touches.
Running backs don't matter, so Derrick Henry's longest carry of the game was 9 yards, 17 carries, 38 yards. Bengals win. Now Bengals all of a sudden are in first place, where they started off 2-3.
Yeah.
They are now 7-4. Won 3 straight. Yeah, don't want to play the Bengals right now.
No, absolutely.
I don't really know what else there is to say about that.
The Titans might be the worst division-leading team that I've ever seen.
Well, besides Tampa Bay, I mean, yeah,
That Tennessee team is terrible.
It's just
You have no threat to not have 8 people in the box.
Like, can you name any of the receivers on the Titans right now besides Traylon Burks? Like
that Westbrook kid or whatever the fuck his name is.
Like
Westbrook Akey or whatever it is. Only because he torched the Packers. No, he torched somebody a couple weeks ago.
Right, like Robert Woods fell off the cliff and now he's kind of playing. Like, I don't know. I just look at that Titans team and it's like, yeah, you're going to win the division, but you have nothing else to offer.
They have a good pass
Tennessee
defense.
Fans, please yell at me, but
they have a good pass defense.
I feel like the season is kind of unwinding. Like we thought. Like we talked early about the 49ers. We're like, man, Garoppolo taking part in Lance, turn that around. I guess we'll get into the big upset. Is this probably the biggest upset? Probably the biggest upset, right? Jacksonville beats Baltimore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, defend your boy Lamar Jackson.
How many points did he put up?
27.
Shouldn't lose.
to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Shouldn't lose.
Are you worried all about his 50% completion rate? 16 out of 32 Lamar Jackson.
I mean, obviously it's not great, but
Just throwing it out there.
turn the ball over.
It out there. He did not. He did not turn the ball over.
There you go.
89 rush yards.
Yeah.
Like
I said, when your best receiver is your punt returner.
I mean, they've got.
What do you got going on over there?
I mean, they brought back Deshaun Jackson from the retirement.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. That deep ball to him was incredible.
That was a nice throw. Oh, man.
Yeah, but the guy can't throw the ball, right?
I mean, 16 out of 32.
Yeah, 70 yards on a rope. 70 yards on a rope.
The man, I think Baltimore, they're going to get to the playoffs. The playoff teams are going to be like, hey, Lamar Jackson will throw the ball, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think it's going to be the Groundhog's Day. Bill Murray, keep watching it. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I don't know, like Jacksonville.
You can't be giving up 28 points to Jacksonville.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, 29 out of 37, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, like shredded them.
Yeah.
Absolutely shredded them.
Zay Jones was the one who went up. What? Are you kidding me?
What year is this? Zay
yeah,
Jones.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Big upset.
And I just want to shout this out because I can't stand that he got $489 billion to play wide receiver. What do you have, 40 yards?
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, what do you have, 40 yards?
46 yards.
Yep.
4 receptions on 9 targets.
That's great. That's really good.
Pretty much his
Trevor Lawrence threw 5 of his 9 incompletions to that clown.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Goodbye.
You know what's weird though?
Goodbye.
Is I think in fantasy, Christian Kirk is number 8 or number 9 receiver, depending on what format you're using. But he's a top 10 fantasy wide receiver.
He's terrible.
It's just wild.
He's terrible.
I don't know. Either way, I think. Again, I keep saying that. I've been saying this about Baltimore all year, and I'll keep hammering it. Lamar Jackson doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is.
That backfield's in dismay right now too.
I don't know. They have no backfield.
Everybody's hurt.
They're hurt. The guy, he'll come back 1 week. He's hurt. Dobbins is hurt. Edwards is banged up. Drake.
Kenyon Drake is the lead back right now.
Doesn't play. I don't know.
Kenyon Drake may as well be their most reliable back at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are you buying the Ravens? So now they are tied with the Cincinnati Bengals for the division lead. You still think they're winning the division? Mr. Lamar Jackson guy? Are they
Bengals are getting a little hotter than I expected them to get.
Starting to creep up. Starting to look over your shoulder.
Yeah. I think they're going to be neck and neck the whole way. I don't think it's going to be easy for anybody to win that division.
Okay.
I like to see where the race goes, but
it's so
the Bengals have the advantage right now because they are hot.
So Bengals. Well, one, I love that they play each other the last week of the season. So I hope it comes down to
schedule makers.
Absolutely
schedule
phenomenal.
makers.
So it's like Bengals have Chiefs, Browns, Bucs, Pats, Bills, Ravens. There's not an easy game on that. Maybe Bucs. They should. Still not walkovers.
No.
But Bengals have Baltimore has a cakewalk. They got the Broncos, Steelers twice, Deshaun Watson Browns, and the Atlanta Falcons before they get there. So. If they blow the division with that remaining schedule,
tough.
Just throwing it out there.
It's tough.
Just defend. You're gonna just get prepared to defend your boy.
Lamar Jackson doesn't play middle linebacker. I'm
just throwing it out there. Just get prepared. Be prepared to defend your boy. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll back him up.
Chargers, Cardinals, real close game.
Shouldn't have been. Jesus.
And then the Chargers coach, balls of steel, going for 2 to win the game.
Well, I mean, so was Big Dick Doug Peterson too.
Oh well, yeah, but they went for it. They got it. That game shouldn't have been that close.
Well, Doug Peterson. The only reason I'm going to say
what is the deal with the Chargers?
I think Brandon Staley stinks.
Do you think it's a coaching issue?
Because
it's just like you look at their team and you look at their numbers.
How many times did Eckler touch the ball that game?
4 carries, 38 yards.
Thank you. Case closed.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I misread that. 5 carries for 20 yards.
Sorry.
Justin Herbert. Yep. I screwed it up. Yeah.
Gavel. Thank you.
I mean, 9, 10, 11,
It's not
12,
like you were. It's not like
they
you were.
had 13 carries that entire game.
It's not like you were down 14 points at any certain.
I mean,
hand the football off.
He did have 11 catches for 60 yards.
Still, Get off. You can't run the ball 14 times in a game. You can't. With Austin Eckler. What are you doing?
The train wreck that are the Arizona Cardinals. Again, I don't think they're in as bad a shape.
Bad.
I don't think they're as bad a shape as the Raiders or the Broncos, but whew.
I might put them in the same category as the Raiders.
Are they in the same category as
I think the Raiders and the Cardinals are kind of in the same boat right now.
I mean, I guess you kind of look at the teams and it's like you got stud receiver, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins. Your running backs are playing out of your minds. Jacob Conner.
Jacobs is like...
And then you got Kyler Murray and Derek Carr, and they're like...
I'd still have Derek Carr. Give me Derek Carr any day of the week, I think.
I mean, Cardinals are 4-8. Like, I just don't know...
the division's not...
I mean, now that the Cardinals are 4-8, like, that's almost out of the play. Like, you're almost guaranteed not to make the playoffs at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
Except in that division,
I don't know.
If the Niners fall apart, you got a shot.
I mean,
But why? Why would you?
The 49ers to fall apart would be a lot.
Yeah.
That would be a lot for them to fall apart. I mean, we've liked their team, and we'll talk about them right now.
We liked their team when they were, 3-4 or whatever?
They played... We liked their team, and we were just kind of like, Lance, They'll go as they go. We pretty much said, like, if Trey Lance plays great, they'll be fine. If he plays terrible. 49ers beat the Saints 13-0. I watched part of that game. It was so boring. Like,
not a good game.
Watch it. Saints couldn't run the ball.
Who would have thought?
Couldn't throw the ball.
Who would have thought?
I mean, Dalton played okay, but it's just 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. You're not going to get very
I feel
far.
bad for Dennis Allen because I think he's a good coach. I feel bad for him.
49ers getting a little taste of the Christian McCaffrey experience. Banged up a little bit. Get a little worried to take him out of the game. Mitchell comes in. I don't know. Like, I'm not concerned about the 49ers. They are an above average team, and they will get there.
Yeah.
How far they'll get with Jimmy
is going to be Christian McCaffrey's decision, I think.
Is going to have to... I mean, because really that's going to be their dynamic, is having McCaffrey, Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle.
If McCaffrey goes down, do they just start Samuel at running back?
You kind of don't... You kind of have to go with Mitchell, because you...
You can't.
Mitchell
just died.
Did he get hurt again, too?
Yeah. He's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Again? Because that's what he played this past week.
Yeah. Out 6 to 8 weeks.
Was it Jordan Mason's going to be the backup?
I don't even know who that is.
Again, it's... But, again, I will tell you, running backs don't matter. I think the big advantage is Deebo Samuel. When he's on the field, don't know where he's going to line up. Because, as a defense, we know the rule. If the offense makes a sub, the defense can make a sub. Mm-hmm. So when you have Samuel out there, that's your big advantage. So if you take your running back off the field, you know it's either empty or Samuel's getting the ball in the backfield. So I think that just takes away a lot of the mystery of what it is.
That's fair.
Which is why I thought McCaffrey was big, because now it's like, okay, well, you can go 5 wide. Oh shit. You can have both of them in the backfield, and now where you got your linebackers, where you got your safeties.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you can play around with both of them on the field. I guess we'll see what the health looks like.
Yeah. Because Mitchell's done. Mitchell's done for 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, then if he's gone, McCaffrey's banged up. They'll roll somebody else out there. It won't matter. Probably the most exciting game of the season. The now out of the playoffs Seattle Seahawks give up 40 against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Ooh. Obviously, they lost in overtime. Josh Jacobs went literally out of his mind.
What do you get? 30-something, 38 carries or something?
The Raiders must not want to pay him, right? Like, they're just running him into the dirt, and then they're dusting him off and running him back into the dirt. Yeah. So that was 33 carries, 229 yards.
That's like Jonathan Taylor.
74 receiving yards.
Yeah, that guy's incredible.
And are we now worried about...
What are they? And they're 4-8, right? Or are they 3-9?
Who, the
Raiders?
The Raiders. I don't look it up here. I'll cheat, but it's not good. 4-7.
Yeah, and Josh Jacobs has been doing that weekly. It seems like
Josh Jacobs has been out of his mind, winning a lot of fantasy playoff games.
Josh McDaniels stinks.
Josh
McDaniels stinks.
Are we worried about the Seahawks? They are now out of the playoff picture looking in.
Did we not think this was going to happen with Geno?
Well, now, Steve, we played the game. We played the game that is unaired now.
Yeah,
we played the game.
I will put the episode.
We will put the episode.
I did forget that we had a couple of those things.
We did have Josh leading off with Geno Smith as number 9 trusted quarterback. We ranked the quarterbacks 9. Geno Smith was 9. They couldn't run the ball.
No,
against the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, what? He had 30-something yards?
I mean, like, DK Metcalf had 11 catches for 90 yards, so there was a lot of short ones. Like, his longest catch was 24 yards, which was a nice catch. But, wow, I don't know. I'm starting to... I don't know if I'm panicking on the Seahawks, but I don't think they're as good as...
Well, the defense hasn't been good. We've known this, too.
We knew their defense wasn't great. You can't lose against the Raiders.
No.
And then
at home?
Now all of a sudden, tough. I mean, so now they're gonna have to leapfrog either the Giants or the Commanders. Because
I don't see them catching the Niners.
Because like right now, it's
good luck
unless one of the
Niners.
teams really comes back. Because like right now, for the bottom of the NFC, Atlanta, Detroit, 7 losses. Green Bay, Arizona, Carolina, Saints, Rams, all have 8 losses. I mean, those teams are kind of out of it. I mean, you're gonna have a pretty like Seattle will have to finish pretty bad to get leapfrogged by any of those teams. Yeah. I don't know. Do we like them past? Do we believe in the Commanders now? Like where are we going?
I might have more belief in the Commanders than the Giants.
Well, so the Commanders are going to be. They've got the Giants bye week, the Giants again, and the 49ers. That's going to be a really, really crazy 3-week schedule. That could kind of determine they finish it against the Cowboys. Don't really want to play the Cowboys. So Washington's got a really tough schedule.
Yep.
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. Unless Washington beats the Giants, both games sweeps them. Seattle's got Rams, easy win. Should be an easy win. Carolina, 49ers, Chiefs, Jets, Rams again. So
even if they go 500, right?
If they go 500, that might be good enough to leapfrog them. Wow, I didn't really see that. You kind of don't see it coming. And the same thing with the Giants. They have.
I don't think they will go 500 in that stretch because it is Pete Carroll. Great coach. Right.
So then the Giants are Commanders, Eagles, Commanders, Vikings, Colts, Eagles. Pretty tough schedule. So that's going to be an interesting battle for that. Because, like I said, I don't really have any faith in Atlanta, Detroit, Green Bay, Arizona, Carolina, Saints. No, goodbye.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of. I guess something to watch out for. That last spot will be quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Raiders. I was shocked they won.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever.
Absolutely, me too.
I don't know. Just looking through the final 3 games, is there really anything worth mentioning? Kansas City versus the Rams.
No,
it looks like Stafford's done for the year. Kupp probably will be done for the year. I mean, they started Bryce Perkins.
Yeah.
At quarterback.
I don't see anything to talk about there. Chiefs did what the Chiefs do, and the Rams fucking stink.
Chiefs kind of went up early, put them away. I really don't know what else to say about that.
No.
And you know what? Before we get into it, because I know we'll talk about them, we'll go to skip ahead to the Monday night game before we go back. Colts lose that tough game to the Steelers. I know we have
Saturday came out, said it was his fault.
Saturday came out, blamed himself.
You like that?
Yep, and I just Kenny Pickett played okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect.
I thought he played okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think he played great.
I didn't think he was going to come out and do that to that Colts defense.
Right, I thought he played pretty well. I mean, the
Colts had a horrendous first half on offense.
That was bad, and that was pretty much their
bad.
And I think a lot of it too is like you're just at this point, right? You're just kind of trusting Matt Ryan to run that offense. I assume. It'll be interesting to see what Jeff Saturday does.
You gotta lean on Jonathan Taylor more.
I mean, he had 20 carries for 88 yards. Do you kind of just break? I mean, it's hard because you look at who's ahead of them for the playoffs. The Colts are now 4-7-1. They're going to have to almost win out to make the playoffs because the Chargers are ahead of them, Patriots are ahead of them. That's 8-9. Jets are ahead of them. Bengals are ahead of them. Buffalo, Baltimore, Tennessee, Miami, Kansas City. So that's a lot of teams ahead of them. I think Colts kind of figure out what they're doing, and I don't hate.
The only thing is Jeff's going to be coaching for his job.
Jeff's coaching for his job, so you got to stick with Matt Ryan. But I think Matt Ryan, this is going to sound crazy, but I think Matt Ryan's going to have to teach him does this sound crazy? Is that crazy? He's got to teach him the offense? Like, is that kind of what we're doing? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. They're a weird team in a weird situation.
Does Jeff have to teach the offensive line coach how to coach the line? That line looked terrible.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Terrible.
I mean, Pittsburgh's defense is good. They do have a good defense.
But
they shouldn't be losing to Kenny Pickett.
No,
let's put it to you that way. Najee Harris got banged up a little bit.
Yeah, and he was gone after the second half.
He was gone. I don't know if he's better than Snell. I don't know. Harris is weird this year. He was weird last year too. All right, now I think we have to get into it because a lot going on here. You know who we're going with. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers. Rodgers was his rib.
That's what they're saying.
We're going right here is rib. 11 out of 16, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked 3 times. It's the Eagles defense that gave up 33 points. Rodgers is a tough guy from we got the peanut gallery.
Yeah. He's a peanut, all right.
A.J. Dillon, how do you not feed him the ball more?
He was effective.
I mean, the only thing while I was watching that game, the Green Bay's defense was supposed to be very good. Can we
finally get Joe Barry out of there?
I think this is
that guy doesn't look like he knows what the fuck he's doing.
And I think a reason why people should be, I don't want to say excited, but Eagles fans should be excited at least. Eagles' offensive line is absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah. Jason Kelce
They are the best offensive line in football. We saw it. Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in over 2 years. Absolutely
Jason
nuts.
Kelce snaps the ball and gets to the second level.
Oh,
Unlike anything I've ever seen.
And it's
unbelievable.
Their team on offense is stacked. They're going to go with Jalen Hurts, I thought, played very well. Yeah. His passing was a little whatever, but he made the throws when he had to.
And he didn't have to throw very often because
they did
rushed for 200 yards.
Right, and they put up 40 points, so I can't be like, oh man, he could have played better. They put up 40 points. But, I mean, we're going to have to get to it. Now, I am going to throw out here. I see a lot of chatter for Jordan Love. Throws a 4-yard slant pass. Christian Watson,
the fastest guy in the field,
to the house. Did anybody touch him? Did anybody come within 3 yards of him?
No.
Yes, he got him the ball. Oh man, do you start a guy because he throws a 3-yard pass and he takes off? Pro Football Focus kind of covered it. You're kind of in a weird situation here. What do we got for time? I'll try to hurry this up. Aaron Rodgers says he's playing this week. You can't not start Aaron Rodgers if he's healthy. What point do we look at Jordan Love just to see what he's got at the end of the year? The only problem is Aaron Rodgers counts for $99 million against your cap next year.
Yeah.
If you let him go or whatever. Do you look to see what Jordan Love has? Do you trade Jordan Love because we're gonna have all sorts of problems here now with Jordan Love?
You gotta do something.
I don't know. I don't really know what the situation is, but again, Green Bay not going to make the playoffs. Like again, you're going to have to
win out.
You're going to have to win out, and the Giants, Commanders, Seahawks are going to have to have a monumental meltdown to lose out on those.
Yeah, that was if they wanted to have any sort of realistic, it's still a long shot. They had to beat the Eagles
because they should beat the Bears.
Yeah.
What do you do with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, there's nobody that's going to take that contract.
Right, you can't trade him. He's untradeable because if you trade him, you set your franchise back 5 years. I know I've gone into it. You set it back 5 years unless Jordan Love's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their schedule remaining is Chicago, Rams, should be 2 winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins, Vikings. And then you finish at home against Detroit. So, I mean, at best, you're going 3-2, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe you go 4-1, but 4-1's not good enough, won't cut it. Do you take a look at Jordan Love? Now, I will say, Jim Irsay loves Jordan Love.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason Green Bay moved up ahead and take him.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know what the plan is, but I think it was worst case scenario. I think if Jordan Love went in there and dotted up the Eagles and was throwing, but the fact that you have a play where if you take away that play, he's 5 out of 8 for 50 yards or whatever it is, nothing crazy.
No.
But it's like you have that play, and it's, again, I know it's because I've seen it all over the internet. I see it on ESPN. ESPN played it.
I don't understand why that's a highlight for Jordan Love. Why is that not a highlight for Christian Watson?
So I will say, I've argued this with people over the years, and this is why I think advanced statistics are so important. Because why?
Absolutely.
There's still people that'll stick to the advanced stats don't mean anything. Hey, that doesn't mean anything.
You got to be able to look at all the stats.
You have to be,
what you have to do.
There has to be, and because again, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because I think. And the problem is that play that he had, Jordan Love, like, it wasn't a good play. It wasn't a bad... Like, it wasn't... I don't want to say it wasn't a good play. He dropped back, threw it to where it had to be. Watson took off. Jordan Love has looked okay. Like, he is, for on the season, 186 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions. But you're kind of... I don't know. I don't know what a terrible situation that they're in. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Because,
it really is.
Because now
it's pretty much all you come to at the end of the day.
Aaron Rodgers haters are going to be like, nope. We got to see Love. It's time to move on.
But it's not a realistic thing for the franchise. It's really not. For
the franchise, unfortunately, unfortunately, when you signed Rodgers to that contract, kind of...
handcuffed him.
But I will say, though, going forward, they have no choice but to keep Rodgers.
Yes.
But, man, maybe you just kind of let Jordan Love have these little spells at the end of the game, garbage time, and maybe Indianapolis calls up. And maybe they're like, hey, Matt Ryan's not the guy. Get some draft picks for him because that team needs a lot of talent on their team.
Yes.
I don't know.
And Quay Walker looked absolutely terrible.
Oh, Quay Walker is one of those guys where he's like a reactionary guy that flies around the football field, but you can't, if you're flying past the tackles you're supposed to be making, like, that's not good.
You're tackling them 8 yards deep.
Pro Football Focus has him graded absolutely horrible.
Well,
he is in the 40s. He has a 40s grade, which is, how are you playing?
Yeah.
That's up. He's young. We'll figure it out. Like, he was around.
He makes decent reads.
And he's made guys cough up the ball a couple times, and he's kind of there. But I don't know. He's like, I'm watching him just run by guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, here's the guy I'm going to attack him when he runs by him at 1,000 miles an hour. And it's like, I don't know.
You got to hit him.
Like, you're excited about you're excited about the talent, you're excited about the reach, you're excited about the speed, but you can't run by the guys.
No.
And that was watching him flying around trying to catch Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts was tough to watch. But I don't know. What a terrible situation Green Bay's in right now. And we did it again. I see. I'm looking over.
I know.
53 minutes.
The only thing I will say too is, obviously Eagles #1 team in the NFC. I think better than the Vikings, obviously. But
I agree.
Does that kind of worry you that a team that kind of was sputtering on offense all year put up 33 points and you rushed all over the yard and you only won by 7?
You got to be, and Rodgers threw 2 interceptions.
Yes.
You got 2 extra possessions.
Does that not worry you?
You kind of got to.
They rushed for 363 yards and won by 7 points.
I think though, with the Eagles, is they're going to win a lot of those games just because of how good their running game is.
Yes.
And that will help them a lot. But I don't know.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot to rush for half a season's worth of rushing yards and to win by 7.
Yeah, and I mean, the Eagles now finish. Titans should win, right? Giants should beat the Bears.
Yeah.
At Dallas should beat the Saints, and then home against the Giants. So a lot of this could come down.
3 division games. That's a lot.
That's all of a sudden you're going to see where teams are at now. Like Giants have 2 against the Eagles. They have 2 against the Commanders.
I think
we're going to see.
I don't think they go 2-2 in those games.
I think that's going to sort itself out.
I don't think the Giants go 2-2 in those games.
What, 1-3, 3-1?
Yeah. Well,
they go 1-3. We'll see how good of a coach he is. We'll see where Daniel Jones is, because that could be Daniel Jones' job now. Could be
it's absolutely going to be his job, because you know what? Because that defensive line for the Reds. Sorry. Didn't say it. Don't.
You almost got canceled.
Don't cancel me.
You almost got canceled. You're like a hot dog.
Please don't cancel me. Please don't cancel me.
Yeah.
The Commanders, very good defensive line.
Yep.
Eagles, very good defensive line.
Oh yeah.
That Giants offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them, running or passing the ball.
You're basically, those teams, if they want to go anywhere in the playoffs, they got to be like, hey, Barkley's not running on us. Daniel Jones has to throw on us.
Yeah.
And then you'll see where those teams are. Is Chase Young back? Is he's got to be close. Like he's got to be.
Josh Sweat's Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat. Yep.
Incredible. Dude,
Jonathan Allen's incredible. Yeah. Like they have a lot. Like that was a lot of people.
But I feel like Chase Young is like a T.J. Watt type of situation with defense.
I mean, well, he's insane.
Yeah.
Because he was questionable.
He was questionable this past week.
Yeah, and did he play?
I don't believe he did.
I don't think he played.
I don't believe he did.
He hasn't played yet this year. Yeah. So we're gonna see what happens. Because boy, what a difference he can make at the end. Depending on how he comes back. If he comes back and he plays very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy, what a disaster that could be for other teams.
Absolutely.
But also too, like Heineke, we'll see where he ends up.
I like the kid.
We have 3 minutes. We're gonna speed these 3 minutes through basketball. Boston Celtics look incredible.
Yeah.
As usual.
I think it was Ja who said that they got the best duo in basketball. It was either Ja or it was Luka. It was Luka.
Do they not? I'm trying to think.
No, they do.
I mean, shots fired at everybody else, but
unless Clay, tonight Clay played like dog shit. I don't know what happened, but if Clay can play like he had been the past few games before that, I think Clay and Steph still have that best duo.
Well, the Golden State Warriors have to figure out how to win on the road. They're 2-10 on the road.
It's terrible.
What the hell is going on? 9-1 at home. They're obviously the defending champions, but the West hasn't looked crazy.
No, because you got the Jazz.
But the Suns were on a 5-game win streak, so they have their first one. But they were 9-6.
Yeah.
You got Denver,
Jazz.
The Pelicans. The Pelicans have a.
Pelicans are so weird.
The Pelicans have so much talent on their team, but
it just doesn't all come together every single night.
And it's like Zion's weird. He's obviously a very good player. He's been playing very well. He's got to stay healthy. They have a lot of question marks. Like, hey, they could do well if.
Yeah.
Like Ingram's been in and out of the lineup.
Yeah. I don't know. He's
they're
tough.
just a weird. They're just a weird team. Like
what's his face there?
If they could put it all together,
not Lillard, McCollum.
Yeah. If they could put it all together, they have something.
Oh yeah, of course.
But those guys have to be on the court together. Like I think they've all played 15+ games, but they're missing games here and there.
Yeah.
Which. Again,
you're not getting your chemistry.
But I think that's more than the big three of the Nets played all together in the 2.5, 3 years they were together.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Pelicans, you look at the team; they're loaded. Grizzlies are loaded.
Yeah. Don't talk shit about my Cavs.
But
Give me my Cavs.
I'm just saying the Western Conference. If you look down, there's really not a huge separation between 1 and 11.
Yeah, no.
You got the Thunder, Lakers, Spurs, Rockets were all bad teams, but
Timberwolves
might fall out too because Anthony Towns is out.
Anthony Towns is dead. So.
Dallas, Utah. Utah's falling off. We knew they were going to fall off.
They're still not a bad team.
But the East is like, man, you've got Celtics, Bucs are really good.
Yeah.
The Cavs are the Cavs have a lot of talent. We're going to see how they end up.
They've not been great with injuries either.
No, and we'll see how they mesh the Mitchell, Garland. They still got a long way to go. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else really. Luka looks like the MVP. Luka looks insane.
Ridiculous.
We'll see if he could do it the whole season.
Kid looks incredible.
Yeah, I don't know, and then I saw somewhere, and it was a Hoops Hype article about Tyrese Halliburton from the Pacers.
Yeah.
As he's like the greatest point guard the Pacers ever had. We'll pump the brake, but that guy's playing out of his mind. But probably worth noting right now.
Yeah.
Steph Curry over 5 threes a game. Insane.
Yeah, stupid.
I don't really know because, like I said, basketball's always tough because I think the best team always wins, and I think it always comes down to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Lakers are a dumpster fire. I don't know what they're
they're
do.
fucking terrible.
I don't really know what to do anymore at that point.
They stink.
So, yeah, I think that's it. We got how much time we got left?
No, we got 45
seconds. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
At the Adam Stone.
At J_Burnett15. This one will be posted.
This one and the last one.
I may as well post it. I mean, it was a good episode. It's a little late, but it was a good episode.
Spotify. We'll get it up on everything.
Yep.
See you guys next week.